There, Aries. Welcome to November, or I don't know, the last little bit of November 2019. You already got a card coming out, two cards. The Nine of Pentacles and the Devil. Some of you are dealing with situations where you are getting rid of problems regarding people that are toxic in your lives, toxic situations. Some of you are overcoming addictions, whether that be alcohol, whatever, drugs, sex, gambling. I hope it's not rock and roll. Let's go ahead and pull more. You have the Ace of Swords coming out in reverse. The Hangman. You have the Nine of Swords. And you have the Page of Pentacles in reverse with the Queen of Swords. So overall, what I'm feeling is that you may have been in a period, Aries, where you were dealing with situations where you were cutting yourself away from problems, from people who were toxic, your own situations in life that may have been problematic for you, things that bind you up, things that don't allow you to step into your own power. And I feel here, this is the point where we're trying to basically get within our own power. We're trying to, move forward in our lives, do things our own way, build abundance, stabilize our lives financially. This can be about being single, doing things your own way, but it's about feeling good about it. It's about feeling empowered and ready to take on whatever direction you want in life, and it's yours for the asking. It's interesting that the Devil comes next because it's like, I feel that this may be a continuation of some of this energy that you may have let go of, but then it's there again, Here, with the Ace of Swords, this is basically talking about not having clarity in a situation. So that can be anything from not having proper communication, not being, in a right state of mind, not knowing what you're thinking about, or, not having all of the information. It can talk about lies, deception, people not being honest with you. And what's happening here, Aries, is with the Hangman, this is a need to look at these connections, look at these people, look at what's being presented to you. What information are you being given? Is it something that you can work with, or is it something that you need to cut out of the way? Just because it seems like you took yourself out of something and now you have something coming back. Like you took yourself away from a situation that may have been problematic. And now you have something new coming back into your life. And it doesn't have to be new. It can be the same situation with the same people that you may have distanced yourself from. But what I'm seeing is that you need to be objective here, okay? You have information coming toward you. You have the Devil sandwiched in here, okay? So it may be information coming in from somebody, that you're not trusting. And what's being presented here with the Hangman is to take time, observe, see what they say. It's likely not going to work for you, but you have to make your own educated decision about that, okay? With the Ten of Swords here, this is about finality. It's ending. It's lies, deception, but coming to an end. It's problems where people stab you in the back. They don't regard your time, your effort, who you are as a person. And with that, we need to basically say bye-bye. We need to put our backs to it and move forward. If somebody's not willing to give you the truth, if somebody's not willing to be open with you about, whatever it is, you need to be sure that you can cut them free because it doesn't serve you in the end. The Queen of Swords is about getting clarity. She's about gaining perspective about situations, and she doesn't deal with people who give her bullshit. That's like the last thing she's going to deal with. So if she's presented with problems from people where it's ongoing lies, second guessing them, she doesn't know what to trust, there comes a point where we are going to dig in our heels. We're not going to move forward. There's going to be no potential for beginnings. There's going to be very little given, you know. And because she sees that there's not really much, he or she sees that there's not really much potential here, okay? It's somebody who, you know, deals with people who are non-committal, somebody who deals with people who give a lot of lip service, but there's not much action behind them, you know? So it's kind of like viewing that, recognizing the situation and issue for what it is and cutting it loose, you know, and you can do that with as much or as little grace as you choose. Show me the 9 of Pentacles here for Aries. So you have the moon in, I'm sorry, the star. You have the star in reverse. Okay. So in regard to moving forward in your life, in regard to the direction that you are choosing to go, keeping connections of this nature, it bogs you down. It doesn't allow you to step into your fullness. It doesn't allow you to move forward. You know, it basically keeps you tied to these types of negative connections. The star also in reverse is somebody who, depending upon where they're at in their life, they can be held back. They can be ignoring their path, their given path in life. They can be ignoring the signs that they're being given to go onto a path. Or it's just not wanting, it's a card also of not shining your light brightly, not giving your all to a situation because you know it doesn't serve you. If you're paired up with the devil here and you're trying to be on your own, this is about disconnecting. But here it's like we're moving into this energy, even though we've already disconnected from it. Show me the devil, please, here for Aries. So you have the 9 of Wands coming out, and then you have another card that came out, Strength. So the 9 of Wands and Strength. This is about sticking to your guns. It's about being patient with yourself, but also being very firm in your decisions, being able to communicate what you need to communicate to whomever it is that is in your life that is not healthy for you. It seems like you have a resurgence of this type of energy where it's like you may have gotten rid of it, but now it's back from whomever. You need to stick to your guns, create very healthy boundaries, and cut out who doesn't make sense for you, okay? You could be dealing with a Capricorn, an Aquarius, a Leo, Pisces, Libra, Aquarius, you know, Gemini. It doesn't have to be any of those signs, just the energy that's being presented here. Those are the signs that it falls under. It's basically dealing with people who are not healthy to be around, you know. It's like you want to save your energy for people who you can connect with, people who feel like they're on the same page with you, okay? There's no reason to give your energy and time to people who don't value you. They don't take you into consideration, and they're not going to be honest with you because they've got their own shit. If this is the type of person that you're dealing with, the devil, you know, regardless of Capricorn, this is somebody who is essentially caught up in their own bullshit, okay? They have little regard for others because they're so enveloped in their own garbage, you know, that's just where they're at. So no matter what, you're not really getting the full story from them. You're not really getting full energetic exchange with them. It's usually minimal. It's usually self-serving. And it's usually not something that's going to fulfill you in the long run, which is exactly why I see you here at the end of it as the Queen of Swords, putting up your sword, being like, listen, this doesn't work. You want something that works with people. You want to be connected to those that are actually for you and who you can be for. It's a reciprocal situation. This isn't reciprocal. Show me the Ace of Swords in reverse here for Aries. The Ace of Swords in reverse for Aries, please. So you have the 2 of Wands in reverse. Yeah, and the 5 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So what this is basically telling me is that you are okay with letting things go. You're okay with communicating that. The 2 of Wands in reverse is upright. It talks about choosing pathways, decisions. You know, you have the earth in you have the world in your hands essentially, and you can choose what's behind you or what's before you. You know, here we're choosing what's before us. And I think you're also looking into the past in regard to what has already gone on. There's no point in repeating it. With the Five of Cups here, this can talk about having frustration, sadness, regret in a situation. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean you feel regretful like it's your fault. Some of you, it may be your fault, whatever the situation is. But it can literally be a genuine sadness that something didn't work out with somebody. It can be a genuine frustration and regret that, shit, I got treated like shit, or I can't trust this person. Here in reverse, this card is talking about essentially cutting things down, letting things be, not allowing stuff to, we're not going to choose that path anymore. It's a choice decision being made, and it's interesting because in this card, she's looking, to the left. She's looking this way. And what she's looking at is this right here, this Nine of Wands and the Strength card. This is about, how do I safely secure my stance in life? Which direction do I need to go? And it's like safeguarding yourself, making sure that you are essentially taking the steps to be in contact with the right types of people, okay? I'm not talking about climbing the social ladder. I'm talking about getting out of situations with people that are negative and bring you down. So here we have, for the Hangman, you have the Sun in reverse, as well as Justice popping out, okay? So what I'm feeling here in regard to this is observation, all right? Watching whatever the situation is dealing with this person, dealing with the communication struggles, dealing with not knowing what they're bringing to the table, not knowing what is not being presented to you. The Sun in reverse, while it can be a very positive card, it's the most positive card in the deck, but like in reverse, it's things that are not being brought to light yet, things that are kind of still hidden. When you find that information out, it's going to be like aha moments, like change in situation. It's going to bring a heave of relief into your life. But overall, these are three major arcanas here. You have a lot of major arcanas in this reading so far. The Devil, the Star, you've got the Strength card, you've got Hangman, the Sun, the Justice card, major life lessons here. And I think that is basically where we are putting ourselves in our lives. Where are we placing ourselves? What are we doing? Are we staying in situations that are problematic for us with people that don't value us? Or are we being honest about things and cutting them loose? You have a lot of potential here. It's just kind of that loop where we go back into situations with people with problematic things. Okay. Why am I even getting that message? All right, so stupid. Oh my God. All right. So I don't know if you're old enough to have seen this movie. It's not even a super old movie. It's Stella with Bette Midler. I think it was in the 80s or like early 90s. Stella with Bette Midler. And the daughter, she ends up meeting this guy who she falls in love with, and he's like everything she wants, and he's wealthy and whatever, and he's really nice and he loves her. And then something goes down and gets weird, and they go back home, and she doesn't, she goes back to her old ways. She hooks up with her old boyfriend, like who's doing coke, leaves her out by the railroad tracks, like kicks her out of the car, like whatever it is. It's kind of like that. We kind of get a taste of something that we want. We get a taste of what we like, what's for us, and it feels good. And then something kind of goes a little haywire, and then we go back to the old way. We revisit the people who, aren't really healthy for us to be around. We revisit the situations and feelings where we kind of get stuck and we end up hopeless and we're confused by what we need to do. It's as much as you're watching somebody else here, as much as you're taking in whatever this person is giving you or not giving you, it's also about taking in yourself, taking in your emotions and your experience in the situation. What is it that is so compelling for you to stay with it? What draws you back to it? It's time to start looking at those things and evaluating them for what they are, because they're there, and you're being presented with situations and people in your life for specific reasons. Life just doesn't happen to you. Life is a lesson. Life is an experience, and we need to pay attention to the things and signs and lessons that are being presented to us. That's how we change things. Show me the 10 of Swords here for Aries. So you have the King of Swords coming out in reverse with the 10 of Swords. Now you have a couple here, Queen of Swords, King of Swords. The male is coming out in reverse. So you may be dealing with somebody who's very cold, disconnected on an emotional level. They don't communicate with you what they're feeling or thinking. They may be, you know, adverse to expressing themselves. It's somebody who can be calculated and dismissive, somebody who is very hard to deal with, very cold energy. And it feels like you've kind of had enough of this, Aries. Could be an air sign, Leo, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. It doesn't have to be. But for what I'm feeling here, you're done. You're done with that type of shit. You're done with problems that, you know, are just continuing to spiral out of control. You're done with situations that bring you very little outcome or potential. You know, you're done with lip service for sure. You know, this is about being hesitant in regard to going in a direction. It's about looking at an opportunity and seeing very little within it so you don't move forward, you know, which I think can be very troublesome for people, especially if they've been in relationships for a long time, just because it's like we oftentimes want to give our best and want to make sure that we take care of the person. And some of us, this is going to be a rough one. Oh, God. Okay, I'll say it. Fuck. The marriage vows, till death do us part. That is so detrimental. That is so problematic for so many people. If you're in a happy marriage and that is, you know, the best thing for you and you trust that, go for it. But some people literally say, oh, well, shit, I married him, I married her. It's terrible, but till death do us part. Fuck that. Fuck that. If you are in pain, if you're suffering, if you're in a problematic relationship that doesn't bring out any happiness, it doesn't share with you a partner who's cut off, essentially, somebody who doesn't share their emotions, their feelings with you, somebody who is verbally, you know, non-communicative, somebody who hides things from you, you know, somebody who's very toxic overall, it's time to get away from it. You know, it's interesting because it's like we start this reading with the 9 of Pentacles, which is essentially talking about letting things go, doing things on our own, trusting our own intuition, trusting our own pathway, especially with this star in reverse, needing to trust our own pathway, needing to trust our own position in life, needing to trust ourselves, you know, and I feel like you're there making it happen because we do have the Queen of Swords at the bottom of the deck, which is great because this is the overlying energy. But, you know, you're going to get there. I like that it starts here and it ends here. You know, this is basically taking your power back, but in an even more, in an even stronger way with this Queen of Swords. It's like, no, this doesn't work for me. No, I'm not going to listen to you like that. It's not healthy. I don't want to be in this type of situation. You do you, boo. Like, you do you, because this isn't good for me. I need to cut this out. Show me the Page of Pentacles in reverse here for Aries. So you have the 5 of Cups coming out in reverse. That's excellent. Awesome. And guess who's at the bottom of the deck? Queen of fucking Swords. Yes. Yes. How beautiful, Aries. How incredibly empowering and beautiful and self-reliant one can be. This is about self-reliance. It's about being strong within your understanding of yourself and what you need in your life and just saying, fuck it. I release the things that do not help me. I release the people that do not support me. Whew, I feel like a weight. I feel like a weight came off of my shoulders. That's so weird. How wonderful. Okay, so yeah, with this is basically bidding goodbye to situations that provide no longevity. They provide no truth. You know, it's stuff that basically doesn't work. There's nothing here. And so what you're doing is you're turning your back to it. You're accepting it for what it is. You're accepting that sometimes people need to help themselves and heal for themselves. And even if they don't, here we go. You know, one of my ex-boyfriends, I love him dearly. I love him dearly. But he stays, and I hope he doesn't always do this, but he stays within this energy all the time, the devil energy. Self-sabotatory, you know, selfish, drug addicted, all of these things, and like not willing to look forward. And God, I feel so judgy saying that. I love him so much. He's my family. He's my friend, and we are friends. But I hope that he steps out of this energy. It's like saying, I love you. I see where you're at, but I also can't be there with you. I've done what I can to get out of this, and I'm going to continue to uphold that doubly. And it's bittersweet because it's essentially parting ways with somebody who you've cared about, but you also realize that the connection is toxic and it's an unhealthy thing to maintain. It gets in your way. So let's go ahead and, do I need to clarify anything else? Clarify the King of Swords here in reverse for Aries. Clarify the King of Swords in reverse for Aries. You have the Page of Swords coming out in reverse. This is not the best of cards. It's more air energy. This is somebody who doesn't work well with others. They gather information. They use words against you. They find out things about you and totally sabotage you with the information. They twist things to benefit their agenda. Not a healthy thing. It's also somebody who could be considered, they spy on you, they look through your things, they go through your purse, they, whatever it may be, but there's an element of disrespect even to your own personal space, your privacy, your money, whatever it may be. There's a disrespect to that. They abuse the situation because they feel like they can do whatever they want. Okay. Give me one more for the Nine of Pentacles and the Star in reverse here for Aries. Yeah, so you have this Eight of Pentacles coming out in reverse here. This is not working with other people anymore. If you're finding that the situation is blocking you from the potential of more for you to experience life on your own, in your own way, learning new things for yourself in your own way. I keep having to emphasize that, in your own way. There's something very healthy about doing things in your own way. It's like regaining a sense of self, rebuilding your sense of self. There's something here that's, I don't want to say it's been lost, but now you have the opportunity, once you release this, to actually change your experience in life. You change your perception, you change the path that you're on. But it's also about being very firm in what you believe in. With this Eight of Pentacles in reverse for the Nine of Pentacles, it's being very, very, it's planning things, being understanding of exactly what I put my energy into, what do I put my energy into, what do I put my being, my time, do I put it into things that are not healthy? Do I put it into things that go against my path? No, I cut this problematic situation out. Give me one for the Devil. Now the Star is upright. Star in reverse, Star upright. So what we're doing is we're healing from a situation. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Four of Pentacles. Basically what I'm feeling here is that you're healing from a situation with this person that will take time, but whatever's going on, you're gearing up to be with yourself. It's a healthy thing. I know a lot of people don't like being by myself because that means I'm alone. No, it means you're regenerating. It means you're experiencing you. It doesn't mean you're alone. It doesn't mean you're abandoned, especially if you're removing yourself from something. And being alone is not a bad thing. Being alone is very healthy. And if you're a person that can't be alone, be alone. If you have to have somebody with you, even if it's totally terrible, be alone. Like that, there's so much to that I can't even get into right now. But you need to have that solace. You need to have that time to reflect and respect yourself. Learning to respect yourself. When people are terrified of being alone, and so they just maintain situations with people that are totally terrible to them, it shows that they don't regard themselves very well. They don't consider themselves worthy of something that actually makes sense for them, somebody who loves them. It's just, no, I don't want to be alone, so I'm going to be in this terrible situation for the rest of my life till death do us part. No. This is about trusting your path, trusting your intuition. The Star is about healing situations with this type of energy. And when I say healing them with that type of energy, Oftentimes that's removing yourself from that energy so that you can heal and restore yourself from them, from that stuff. But oftentimes it's an energy of singularity here, you know. And I think we are empowered and knowing enough now with this Queen of Swords coming up twice to hold and be very stubborn about what we let into our experience from this point on. And I think this is a defining point in our lives, in this person or whoever this is for. It's a defining point in your life, so things do not go backward. You know, it feels like we got ourselves out of it a little bit and then bam, we're right back into it, but we're really not. It's like we have to revisit it for a little bit, figure out why this is here, figure out, okay, this doesn't work for me. I need to be very clear and honest with myself. And then we cut it free. And this is a very emboldened energy to be in. This is a very healthy energy to be in. I like the Queen of Swords. I love the Queen of Swords. She's like one of my favorite cards. Like, seriously. It's a card of being fucked over. It's a card of experiencing so much bullshit that you can sniff it out a mile away. It's like you become attuned to it, which is actually kind of good. It's like, you know, I grew up in the middle of gang warfare. Like, I grew up seeing people get shot and like found a dead body when I was like 14 as someone we knew, like, you know, but you become attuned to that. So the point of me even saying that is because within all of that experience, as traumatic as it was, I became streetwise. I grew a sixth sense of what was going on around me. I had eyes in the back of my head. You know, it's like you become attuned to shitty energy. You become attuned to problems and situations and people's patterns, you know, to the point where you can say, all right, I don't need to be here. This isn't healthy for me. Bye-bye. Okay. So let's go ahead and pick an oracle from the Crystal Wisdom Healing deck. Okay. So you have amethyst. I love amethyst. It's my birthstone. Oh, amethyst. All right, let's check out amethyst. Okay. Amethyst, inner peace. A powerful protector, purifier, and natural tranquilizer, amethyst claims the mind and balances extremes. You have an addictive personality. Make a concerted effort to overcome such behavior or obsessions of any kind and avoid overindulgence. Balance work and play. You are prone to excess in both. Understanding hidden causes of compulsive actions bring peace. Hand your will over to your soul and allow your spirituality to flourish. Release self-defeating programs. Do not rely on others. You create anything you set your mind to. Be shrewd in business dealings. Pay attention to your family. An honest verdict and success in a court case are possible. Maintain your integrity and let the universe decide. Letting go of cravings leads to inner freedom and creates well-being. I think this is finding inner peace on your own, finding your own flavor of it, you know, creating what you need in your life and letting it just flourish. There's beautiful energy in that, Aries, and I think you are on the road to that. So congratulations. I know these readings do not make sense for everybody, and they're not for everybody, but for those who do resonate, I hope it's helpful. So if it does resonate, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if you choose to donate, there is a link in the description box below. And I will talk to you again in December. Take care, Aries. Bye-bye.